Good morning. Hello there. Um, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Thank you for letting me be a part of your Saturday morning. It is indeed Saturday morning here, and this is a live stream, and this is going to be kind of a free-flowing Q&A. So I hope this format will appeal to you, and I hope people will ask any questions they like. You may ask me anything. I may or may not answer anything because some things are private, but please feel free to jump on in. And let me see. And I will be diverting my gaze to the chat to the side. So I see we've got Cynthia Leaf here and Jacqueline Hitchin, who writes, "Good afternoon from Dawlish, Devon, UK." And Vicky Diaz, "Good morning from Bakersfield, California." Judy Tucker, "Hey, Judy, good morning from Hopkinton, Iowa." And Susie Q, bloodshot eyes on keto? What? Hi from Richmond, Virginia, Lori Morse. And good morning from Idaho. Hi, Yuma, Arizona. So this is so great that so many different people from so many different places are jumping in. Patricia Rivara, "Good morning, east of the Atlantic." Hi. So was that a question, Susie Q? Do you have bloodshot eyes? And are you wondering, if you do, are you wondering, would that be because of keto? I wouldn't think so. I think we would probably get bloodshot eyes on keto for the same reasons we would get them for any other thing. I mean, dry conditions, not enough sleep, particulate in the air. Are you allergic to something? So I don't think there would be anything that would be keto related, if that was indeed a question. Good morning. So nice. And I do see some patrons here. Thank you very much. I love to see the patrons showing up. Hey, Edith from the Netherlands. Hola. Oh, no. Allo, right? And excuse me as I wet my whistle. I'll be doing a lot of talking today. After this live stream, I'll have a patron-only live stream, which I do about half a dozen of those a month. All right. Since I was keto, my eyes are bloodshot. I've never heard that as a result of the protocol, and I can't think of why it would be, as I said, other than, but not related to keto. Sometimes we just get bloodshot eyes, depending on where you're living. Are you near the forest fires? Out west, or is your house very dry right now? I know it's very dry where we are, and with the heat on and everything, my eyes are very dry. I don't know that they get bloodshot. Hey, Jen, ketogenic, cute. Hi. Good morning, Shelley Jones writes, everyone. Okay, so if anyone hi from Vancouver Island. Hi. Does anyone have a question? If not, I'm going to kind of jump into a recap. This is first public live stream I've done since the Thanksgiving weekend, and I hope everyone enjoyed theirs and that we all made decisions that we planned to make, whatever those were. So, yeah, Lori writes, maybe allergies for the bloodshot eyes. I cannot imagine that bloodshot eyes would have anything to do with the protocol. Hey, Charlotte. Charlotte Tice writes, "Good morning, Casey. I love your channel. I've never heard of bloodshot eyes from keto. Neither have I." Hey, Karen. "My LDL cholesterol ticked up a bit since I've been on keto. Should I worry about that?" No, you should not. One thing, LDL is something that the medical industry likes to measure, and the pharmaceutical industry insists gets measured, because that's easily measured, and there's a medication that can be prescribed to lower it, but you don't necessarily need to lower it. Dr. Eric Westman often points out that if you go to cardio risk, CV risk, I can never remember the name of the website, CV risk, some of you will know. You can put in your numbers, CV risk calculator for cardiovascular risk calculator.com, and put in your information, and they will kind of extrapolate out your risk for cardiovascular disease. Guess what's not even on there as something as part of the calculator? LDL cholesterol. So I wouldn't worry. For one thing, when we start on following the ketogenic diet and we mobilize fat for fuel, we mobilize fat cells. There's not just fat in those cells. There are all sorts of things, hormones, cholesterol of all types. Cholesterol is vital to every cell in our body. Cholesterol has gotten a bad name undeservedly, but there are all types of cholesterol. There's triglyceride, high density lipoproteins, also known as HDL, low density lipoproteins, at least two types of those, the small stickies and the big fluffies. So that is released into the bloodstream. So you could even see a tick up of triglyceride briefly. If you read Dr. Stephen Phinney, The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living, you will read that after that those numbers may go up as things are released into the bloodstream, but then they regulate. There is nothing that will bring down triglyceride, which is, we don't want too much. We don't want our triglyceride and HDL to be out of balance. Ideally, we want the triglyceride and HDL, which are two components of cholesterol that are important, to be 1-to-1. A 1-to-1 ratio is great. Even better is if your HDL number is higher than your triglyceride number. We're talking about real numbers, like, so if your triglyceride is 75 and your HDL is 75, awesome. If your triglyceride is 300 and your HDL is 50, not so good. If you're like me and your triglyceride is 54 and your HDL is 98, fantastic. LDL is not even anything to worry about. So no, do not be worried. All righty. Lori writes, trying to stay motivated during the holidays, and it's a struggle for many people every year. And the thing is, but we know that struggle might be coming. So how do we deal with that? We deal with it before we're in the middle of it. We don't, there's a saying, and I am going to show you that I have the 2020 Go Keto with Casey calendars are ready and available. And one of the months on it shows, it says, learn to float. We don't drown because we can't swim. We drown because we panic. If you're in the middle of the holiday, whatever it is, parties, family parties, office parties, people dropping off baked goods as their tradition as gifts for people. If you're in the middle of it and you struggle with resisting, it might feel like you're drowning. So don't panic. Float, float, float. Just realize just because it's here, I don't have to eat it. But even better. Oh, I took my rings off. Oh, excuse me. It's my husband. I just want to make sure he landed. Oh, please. Hey. I'm doing a live stream. No, sir. Okay, honey, bye. He landed. He's a general aviation pilot, and he flies usually on Saturday mornings. And he always calls me as soon as he stops the plane. So the way to deal with it is before we're in it. So you say, okay, I know that starting the 23rd, my family descends on my house, or I'm expected to be at someone else's house, or so-and-so has an annual party, and I know I'm going to struggle. So what do you do? For one thing, don't tell yourself you're going to struggle. You say, this year, I'm not going to struggle. I'm going to be prepared beforehand, mentally, which is a mashup of emotionally and mentally. Just preload. Maybe next Christmas, maybe for Valentine's, maybe for St. Patty's Day, it'll be a different story. But for this year, for this holiday season, I don't eat food that doesn't serve me. I'm not worried that someone's feelings are going to be crushed. If someone's feelings are crushed because we did not eat their snickerdoodles, then they need to get out more and find other things about which to worry. So we have to deal with it. And even if we have not preloaded and we find ourselves in the middle, float, breathe, take a breath, take a step back. It's decision by decision, moment by moment that we get through these things. Okay. Thank you, Lori, for sharing that. Um, oh, Christina Gale writes, cholesterol is wonderful for your hormones. Cholesterol is vital. Seriously, every cell in our body requires cholesterol, or else we would dissolve into a pile of dust. But yes, uh, Christina Popshik, and I apologize, I butchered your name. My triglycerides and HDL are great, so I don't worry about the others. Precisely, I'm right there with you. Hey, Debbie Longenecker, hi from Boise. Karen shares, this is a whole new world, not looking at cholesterol as the enemy. Absolutely. And Cynthia, Karen writes, there are two kinds of LDLs. Typical to test may not have them differentiated. There are excellent YouTube videos on cholesterol and keto that explain about all this. Wish I knew how to link, but don't. And really, just suffice it to say that don't worry about the LDL. Just don't. I mean, triglycerides, HDL. At some point, there might be, a deep dive depending on your situation. But for most people, the overall number is not to be worried about. The overall cholesterol number that the doctors quote to us. And the LDL. Now, I've got tons of the big fluffy LDL and almost none of the small stickies. So I'm golden. But, if you're going to get a test, if you can ask for an NMR, lipid profile rather than just the standard, then that will tell you a lot more information. But in short, don't worry about it. Follow the protocol. There's no medication that will help with our overall health and our inflammatory triglycerides and anti-inflammatory HDL, as well as this protocol will. Hey, Darla. Darla is a member. Thank you. You can see she's a new, by the way, you can join as a member to this channel. It's a brand new thing. Just started a couple of weeks ago. Casey, off topic, but is there any room left on the Alaska cruise for June? Anyone looking for a roommate? First, thank you for the question. She's talking about the Go Keto with Casey cruise to Alaska. It's in July, not June. A link is below. But yes, there is room. One of the classes of stateroom, I think the Aqua class, is either sold out or very limited. But there are plenty of other rooms. So contact Lisa Pennert at Coastline Travel and the link below. Yes, and there are people looking for state roommates for that. Thank you for the question. And thank you for being a member. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to, off topic, Darla, I made a members only video a couple of days and posted it on the community tab of my channel. Did you get notification about that? Because I was testing it. It's a brand new thing to me. It's Polish. It's Polish chit. Okay. A Polish chit. Christina Polish chit. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cynthia writes, there are some keto bagel and bread recipes online, and I have Jennifer Marie Easy Keto for Busy People cookbook, but personally, the almond flour, coconut, I don't endorse any of that. Do as you wish. I do not endorse fake baked goods that got us here in the first place. Page 4, Dr. Westman's official page 4, also a link below. They're not only not almond flour on it, almonds are not on it, nuts are not on it. And there's a reason for that. So, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of all the cookbooks. I recommend step away from the food. Step away from the videos about food prep, cooking. Step away from the cookbooks. Let's not make food the center of our lives anymore. One of the great victories for me is that food is not the boss of me. I don't think about food very often. Of course I think about food and I eat food. But if I was a recovering alcoholic, I would not be buying books on how to make the perfect non-alcohol cocktail or watching YouTube videos about how to mix cocktails with fake alcohol ingredients. Because it's not necessarily just the product of the food. It's the process, the eating, and what those fake baked goods trigger in those of us who have struggled with food. My opinion only. Patricia Rabark writes, I've never been on a ship, but I fear I would hurl from the motion sickness. These ships are so massive that you really can barely tell you're moving. They're massive. This is the Celebrity Cruise Line, the Solstice, huge. And there are, you will see people on board with these patches behind their ears. There are some very effective motion sickness patches. But, you know, it's not like this, okay? It's not like that. Kathleen writes, good morning, Casey. One of the rare times I get to see this live. I'm so glad you're here. By the way, I've been asked this. I never find out that you're going live. If you subscribe to the channel, to anybody's channel, then that's one thing. But to get notifications about new posts or live, you have to click the notification bell. And even then, if your device, so say you have notifications turned off from YouTube on your phone or your tablet, you won't get the notifications either. So you have to have the notifications bell thing done next to the subscribe button. And then you have to have notifications turned on for whatever it is you're wanting to be notified of on your device. Karen Marie writes, I need to join Patreon. I am in my 50s, 100 pounds overweight. I'm concerned about keto at my age. I have been low carb off and on for years. Now, Karen, first of all, it would be great to have you part of the Patreon support group. And it's a support group. Make no mistake about it. We have, I put out about 20 short videos a month at the $3 plus level. And then going up from there, we have about a half dozen patron-only live streams that are very intimate, and about half a dozen patron-only video group sessions, and then monthly one-on-ones, depending on your level. But I want to ask you a question. Why would you be concerned about keto at your age? You're in your 50s? I'm 61, and I started at 55. So I'm just going to make it a little note to myself. Thank you. So why would you be concerned? There's nothing like it. You know, the tagline is, for me, is a quote from George Eliot, the pen name of Marianne Evans. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Never too late. So come on and join the support group. Hey, good morning, Monica. Okay, Jen, who is a traveler, writes, I use the scopolamine patches. They're amazing. Thank you, Jen. She's talking about the cruise. Kim Schmidt writes, I love you, Casey. Every time people bash keto, I go to you on YouTube. Makes so much sense. Thank you. Well, you know, people bash anything. If you get 3 people in a room, you're going to have conflict. Sometimes if you just have 2 people in a room, you're going to have conflict. Sometimes even if you've been married to that person for 39 years, sometimes you're going to have conflict. But yeah, some people have vested interests in wanting keto or any other healthful way of eating to not prosper, particularly when entire industries are built around selling insulin. I just read something. We did open enrollment. I just finished our open enrollment because we're both self-employed, so we have to purchase our health insurance. And our carrier is very good about estimating annual costs of certain conditions. Do you know that the average cost for treating type 2 diabetes, the annual average, is like $7,062? It's more than going to the hospital and having a baby. It's more than going to the hospital and having presenting an entire human to the world. And the thing is that type 2 diabetes is curable with food. And it's not the food you do eat. It's not pounding back fat. It's not ratios. It's not an X amount of protein or fat. It's keep the carbs low. It's what you don't eat. Keep the carbs out. For those of you who don't know, the protocol, as I learned it and follow it, is 20 grams of carbohydrate a day, total, not net, or fewer, which means 6 grams is okay. You can have 0. Eat fatty sources of protein, or as Dr. Weston says, if it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. and stop when you're satiated. There's not one potion or pill or product or kit or there's nothing you need to purchase. Not even a calendar, by the way. How's this for a segue? Go Keto with Casey calendar. I think this is the third or fourth year we've done these. And so it's just for fun. And it's got sayings that I've said, and then pictures that I've taken throughout the year of behind the scenes stuff. Here's a picture of our Buddha in our garden I just got. And here's the different months. Sayings are, just examples. Push the peckishness. You're not going to die from being peckish. I'm stronger than a cookie, etc. So you can see those at my blog under the swag section. But you don't need to buy anything. Every time I have like a mug that comes out or a calendar, or I create something like a Patreon group, or a membership on my channel, I get pushback from a few snarky people who say, man, you're a real sellout. Really? Because I gave up a really lucrative career, and people hear about my mugs and from free content. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to join anything. And you certainly don't need to be snarky. Let's tone down the snark in general, right? All you need to do is cut out the carbs. And how do you start? That's a big question. How do I start? Next time you eat, leave off the carbs. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy, which is why there are support groups. I just was with Dr. Westman moderating the monthly Durham support group meeting that he has been holding for years in Durham, North Carolina. Dr. Westman of Duke University. And we talked about that. How if it was just, here's page 4, follow it, don't worry about it, he would not have needed to start a support group. It's the dealing with the day-to-day. How do you deal with the holidays? What do you do if you've got a food pusher around you? What if you were, raised that if you turn down someone's gift of food, you've insulted them? What do you do if you were raised to clear your plate? Finish everything on your plate. What do you do if you've always used food to cope? Well, really, by definition, we use food to not cope. I think one of the calendar pages is food is not a de-stressor. It is often the stressor. So this is how we learn, is we help supporting each other. All right, I'm going to turn. Does anyone have any questions? Hey, Camille. Lori Morris writes, people think you're going to die if they can't have their cinnamon bun. Yeah, you probably won't die from, there's no cinnamon bun deficit condition that we know of. Shelley writes, this is the issue I have found with prepackaged foods. They use the net carb count, which raises your overall total carb in a sneaky way. It's not even sneaky. It's pretty blatant. Net carbs just means eating more carbs. The whole thing about, subtract out the fiber, it's not proven. There's not good scientific evidence behind it. And for those where it might be, for those foods where it might be true for some people, it's not true for all foods that have fiber. It's just eating more carbs is what it is. And some people can tolerate more carbs is the thing. So some people might say, I've been doing 20 net carbs for a year and a half and I've lost 17 pounds. That's great. But then I hear from some people say, I don't understand. I'm doing exactly what I've been doing and I've stopped losing. I'm doing the 20 net carbs. I'm eating the fat bombs. I am, keeping my macros. None of that is part of the protocol. And what can happen is as we lose weight, we need to tweak. As we get older, we need to tweak. By definition, we're older than we were last month, right? Carol, hey, I love the way you make it simple, Casey. The next time you eat, just leave off the carbs. And then the time after that, leave off the carbs. If we tell ourselves that we're never going to have carbs again, that can be very overwhelming. So what we do is we say, well, I don't know what tomorrow brings, but today I'm not going to. Today I make the decisions that serve me. This January 2nd, I will not look back and feel like I was a failure again. I will not look back and say, why did I do that? I was doing so well until so-and-so brought out the death by chocolate cake. Why did I do that again? So think how good we'll feel on January 2nd if we look and say, I can't believe I did it. I've never done that before. I've never made it through an entire end of year season in charge of what I put in my mouth. We are in charge of what we put in our mouths. We like to joke and say, I'm powerless against Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookies. Of course we're not powerless. It's a cookie. I have for all $10 plus patrons, whether they're new or they up their pledge to 10, everybody's $10 plus. Every couple of months I send out cards. I don't have any to show you right now. And the most recent one just says, I'm stronger than a cookie. And of course we are stronger than a cookie. We joke. We make explanations for ourselves. Oh, Lori, thank you so much for the super chat. You're you bought some stickers. Fist bump, fist bump. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But we need to start telling ourselves what we can do. The first card I send out just says, I can and I will. I have a mug that says, I can and I will. Because we've spent so much time saying what we can't do, what we haven't done, what we've never been able to do, or how we always fail. We need to change our internal dialogue. And words matter. The words we use to others matter. The words that others use towards us matter. And the words we speak to ourselves matter. So I think that, and Darla, who is a member of the channel, and by the way, Darla, I think you were wanting to get the morning snippets. That really is only on Patreon. That's the 20 videos a month. So you might prefer to be on Patreon rather than in the Go Keto with Casey Club on YouTube, whatever it is. She writes, thanks for that. I'll be there if I can swing it, meaning the cruise. There's also Dr. Westman's Keto Retreat, the first of many, the inaugural one in Beaufort, North Carolina, link below, January 18th, 19th, 20th, in Beaufort, North Carolina, at the beautiful Beaufort Hotel, which is a fairly new hotel. Dr. Westman will be there, Jackie Eberstein, Amy Berger, myself, Christy Sullivan, and it's going to be a different type of conference. It's going to be very up close and personal, a lot of contact, and there's going to be dancing and music. So it's going to be a really fun time. So check out that link. I think there's an early bird special for the rest of this month, I think. And then in February, I don't have a link for it, Go Keto with Casey Roadshow in Tarpon Springs, Florida. That will be February 7th, and then the program will be the 8th, Saturday the 8th, and brunch on Sunday. Dr. Eric Westman and Amy Berger will both be there. And Wednesday is Wine Day with me and Amy Berger. It's a live stream where we're both on screen, so it's a lot of fun. Link to that below. Debbie writes, choosing to eat this lifestyle is a daily moment-by-moment choice. This lifestyle is so freeing for me. That was what rang true for me as well. I knew low-carb worked for me for decades. I knew it from 1977 when I was in college. But for those of you who don't know, at my blog, you can see my before photos. I was perfectly round for 30 years, from my mid-20s When I became pregnant with our second child and I had gestational diabetes, he was a 10-pounder. I put on a lot of weight and it just never came off. And then I put on more. And then I put on some more. And for added measure, I put on more weight. And it really, I'd given up on losing weight. When I was 55, in January of 2014, so we're coming up on 6 years ago, I just didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. So I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes, came across Dr. Eric Westman's white coat video. He and I have since become friends, which is amazing. And we present together sometimes. It's really cool. But it's just the food. It's just food. No tricks. And just not thinking about food all day. What a relief. All right. Thank you. Does anyone have, I wanted to do some Q&A. If I've missed questions, I apologize. I'm scanning to look to see if anyone's actually asked a question. And you may ask me anything in the next couple of minutes here. Does anyone have anything? Okay, Kim writes, so now I'm going into menopause. Will keto help me lose? There are people who are postmenopausal, hypothyroid, hyperthyroid, no thyroid, no gallbladder, only one kidney, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, hysterectomy. I'm many of those things, by the way. Post-hysterectomy. No, it might be a little bit more of a challenge because hormonal fluctuations are a thing, but it's very effective. You can do it. Just listen to your body. Darla writes, Casey, I can create conflict when I'm the only one in the room, right? Ugh, our internal dialogues. Grand So B membership. Yeah, if you're looking, I don't think you can see it on mobile, but if you're on a computer and you're on my channel, to the left of the subscribe button is a join button. And it's just it's membership, and at certain levels, it's very basic. You get access to member-only polls and posts that I do, and once a month, depending on your level, members-only videos that I'll probably do once a month. But the ability to vote on what you want those topics to be. Thank you for asking. Karen writes, I'm postmenopausal, no gallbladder, IBS-D ridden, and I have felt better than I have in years since I've been on keto. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. We can do it. Male, female, older, younger. I'm still really short, so it doesn't fix everything, but we can do it. And I feel better and happier than I have since my 20s. 100%. Oh, Patricia, thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat. And she writes, thank you for the live chat. You're most kind. Barb writes, is there I can do different to lose the last 10 pounds? I'm struggling. Honey, I just would like to lose 2.6 more pounds so that I can say I've lost 100 pounds since starting keto. I'm actually 115 and a half off my heaviest. Those last pounds can be challenging. Sometimes we're still just eating more fuel than we require. And it takes a while to realize how little fuel we actually need. You say, well, that can't be right. How can 3 boiled eggs and a breakfast link be most of what I eat in a day? If I'm not hungry, don't eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. So it can take pushing the peckishness and finding out, or where did you come up with that last 10? Are you going off of what you weighed in high school or college, or what some chart in an actuarial table says you should weigh? I wouldn't mind losing more weight, but I'm pretty good with where I am. I'm pretty happy. By the way, I got a new Stitch Fix delivery, and I may do a live Stitch Fix unboxing. I don't know. I was thinking about that. I don't know if I'm up for that. I don't know. Would you guys be interested in a Stitch Fix unboxing live stream? Or would you prefer old school? Or do you not care one way or the other? Mona Tufan writes, I have a myomectomy surgery this week. I hope that giving 14 kilograms shrink those fibroids, but have no effect. But never mind. I wonder afterwards, will fibroids appear again if I go keto? That I cannot speak to. Like I said, keto is not, the cure for everything. But there's very good evidence that women with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, their symptoms and the syndrome is actually reversed with the protocol. So I don't know whether fibroids would be the same. And there have been women with PCOS who felt they were infertile, and then their keto babies happen. If it doesn't fix short, but it does fix round, correct? Yes, show us your fashions. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It kind of seems weird to me. I've done them before, but I usually do them old school and go back and edit it and everything. And someone suggested a unboxing live stream. I don't know. We'll see. All right, friends. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. I ordered new clothes that did not come from Catherine's, Roman's, or Lane Bryant. I'd love to see an unboxing. Okay. Yep. And clothes are fun again. They are fun again. One of my most read blog posts was, it might be safe to go into retail again. I've never enjoyed retail shopping. And when I was big, I hated it. Yeah. So it's nice to be able to get, air quotes, normal sized clothes. Barb writes, I eat one meal a day. I'm 53, 65 years old, current weight 148, would like to weigh 130. I don't know. 148 sounds pretty good to me for someone who's 5'3" and 65 years old, and if you're healthy and happy, but yeah, Okay, friends, I am really going to sign off now. Thank you very much for watching. Make it a good day. And thank you for allowing me to be part of it. Remember, keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. Eat fatty sources of protein. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. And stop when you're satiated, which just means satisfied, not stuffed. Thank you very much. And I'll hope to see you in another week or so.